What's going on, guys? Tony here with Edge Elite Knife Review. Got another review for you today. Actually, more of a overview slash mini review. Since I've only had this knife in the pocket for 2 days, fell in love with this guy right away. It's the Civivi Anthropos, or Anthropos, however you want to pronounce it. That's how you say it until I hear somebody give me the correct way to say it. And give me 2 seconds because there's some smudges on here. I hate when there's smudges on there when I'm trying to show you a knife just because I want it to look pretty. Bam, there we go. So the Civivi Anthropos, guys, designed by none other than Mr. Isham. Love that guy's designs 100%. I've only been fortunate enough to own one of his higher end designs with which was the Zeta. Absolutely love that knife. Wish I still had it. Oh, that was such a nice knife. But we're talking about this guy today, and this is an awesome knife. Let me give you some specs on this guy before I go in and ramble about it. So you got a 3.25 inch blade. It is a cutting edge of 3.1 inches. You see there's a little mini choil there. You got D2 blade steel, and it's pretty cool that obviously Civivi doesn't billboard their stuff on the knives, so you got the D2 material right there on the flipper tab. I don't know if you could see that. Really cool. So you know it's D2. You know what it is. It is a drop point. You see it's got a nice subtle drop there. Full flat grind, which I'm a super big fan of full flat grind knives. It is a really nice satin finish and a plain edge. So with you know that flat grind, it's gonna be a really nice slicer. I love flat grind. It just lends so nice to slicing through stuff like butter. You got a nice little swedge at the top here. Nice little design work. And of course, like Mr. Isham's work, you have like this cool triangular cutout towards the rear of the blade, which does not serve in functionality at all. It's too far back to flick open with your finger. I mean, maybe some of you guys can. I don't know if it's because my fingers are like giant sausages or whatever, but I can't get it to flip. So I'm just gonna say that it's purely for aesthetics, which I don't mind. It looks really good to me. Yeah, so speaking of not billboarding, the only thing that's really on there is Mr. Isham's maker mark, and I love his maker mark. That's really cool. Really his style, which it's just a little cartoon of him pretty much. You got a, let's see, 4.1 inch handle. So overall it's like 7.3 inches. The handle material is, I think it's G10 over with like a carbon fiber inlay on the top. Because if you look at the handle scales here on the edges, you can clearly see that it's not carbon fiber all the way through. So I'm not sure. Maybe it's like a little overlay. But whatever the case is, it looks really nice. Some of these Chinese companies, other companies do carbon fiber on their knives, and you can just tell it's like 100% not carbon fiber at all. This actually kind of looks carbon fiber-ish. It looks really nice. It's got a really nice flat finish to it. Of course, this is the all black model. They have an orange one where these grooves are colored. So there's like an orange and a blue one. I kind of wanted to go with a more elegant, more sophisticated, it's just black, colorway. So all black, all the hardware is black. You got stainless steel liners in this guy, and let's see if you can see that they are milled out. I don't know if you can see that, but they are milled out in there. So that helps reducing the weight, which, by the way, is 3.28 ounces. Really light, everyday user, guys. Really nice light user. This is right hand, left hand, tip up only. Sorry, tip down, guys. Not sorry. What I really like about this knife as well is that it's like a minimalist design style knife. So if you look at the handle scales on both sides, you don't have body screws all along the knife. So what it is you have a screw here at the rear, screw here at the rear on the other side, and then you have a one-sided pivot screw here. What also helps hold the knife in place is the pocket screw clip. The pocket clip screws also hold together the liner and the scale. So it's a really secure fit. The fit and finish is, top notch. It's a solid knife. I really like this deep carry pocket clip. I've only had one other Civivi, which was the Praxis. I have a link. I'll put a link in the description on that video. And it had the same pocket clip as this. However, this one is, of course, been coated in black, which is totally nice. I'm glad they didn't put a flashy, colored or high satin pocket clip on this guy, that it's the all black variant. Really cool. For it being a smaller knife, a 7.3 inches overall, of course, I always talk about the size of my hands because it's important when it comes to knives. Like, you have to have something that's comfortable. And even though this is a smaller knife, I really want to say it's I can get 4 fingers on there. It feels a little weird maybe, but it works. It feels decent though. It's weird but decent. There is like a really micro choil here. I'm gonna say that's like a fingertip choil, because you really can't put maybe me, because I have giant fingers, can't put my whole finger there because it's already resting on the blade. So any kind of thrusting forward movement, my finger's definitely going to go along that blade there. So it's no good. But the design of the handle, the ergonomic of the handle, kind of makes this, the guard. So your fingers aren't going anywhere when they're positioned like this. I do wish that there was some jimping right here on the back of the blade to give you just a little bit more grip. That would have been cool. But hey, it is what it is. I still really enjoy this knife. I also really love that the flipper tab, and this is not the first time you've seen it, but I really love that the flipper tab is laid flat and forward, so it doesn't interrupt the line of the back of the knife. It's a really smooth line. And it just looks more organic. You might hear my nephew screaming right now. You heard that? I don't know. He's throwing a fit. Anyways, I like that it's an organic line. All of Elijah Isham's designs are really organic and natural shapes. As you guys know, nature doesn't do straight lines. Nature's very curvy. Nature's very, windy and circular, weird shapes and whatnot. And Mr. Isham definitely captures those natural feels and almost, I would say, alien feeling designs in his work. And I absolutely love that. And that's one of the reasons why I love the Zeta so much. I mean, the Eschaton and the Aricus, I don't know if I'm saying that right. Those are insanely cool knives, super futuristic. I feel like if you were to climb on board an alien spaceship, you might find one of those knives lying around. It would fit perfectly. But the Zeta and this guy, to me, are just such nice, clean, elegant knives. They're just like, I don't know how to explain. They're just really like on point. They're pretty. They're usable. They're they're very well built. Good material. Speaking of usability, I've carried it for 2 days at work, and I've used it a bunch. And this thing is really nice. It's small enough to where it doesn't raise any eyebrows, and it's really like a I don't know what you call it. It's really like an illusion to me, because the blade length on this guy looks like it's way longer than the handle. I don't know. It trips me out to see it. And then when you close it, it fits perfectly, but I don't know. It's like an optical illusion almost, in my opinion. It's pretty crazy. It's got a really nice belly here, so it does do really nice slicing. And just overall, any tasks that I put in through cutting down boxes, opening packages, stuff like that. I've even used it for my lunch. And, I don't know if you guys do that, but I use my pocket knives for lunch. Of course, I clean it off before I use it and whatnot and afterwards. But yeah, I mean, this little thing has been great so far. Slice through that burrito with ease, you know what I'm saying? And the action out of the box was great. But, of course, I had to throw some KPL in there. Shout out to Knife Pivot Lube. You the man. Threw some of that stuff on this pivot here. It is a ball bearing pivot. And it works wonders, man. It falls shut really nicely. Fires open like a rocket. And it just feels great. The fidget factor on this knife, guys, is off the charts. It's so small. It's such a cool little flipper tab. And it's so fun to just open and close. I've been doing it since I got it, since I opened it. Yeah, so definitely a cool knife, guys. I highly recommend picking one up for 70-ish bucks. You can't go wrong. Yeah, I love his maker mark. I love looking at that thing. It's super cool. Just overall, this knife is just such a nice knife, guys. Definitely recommend it. Throw some style into your rotation, your ADC rotation collection. Pick one of these guys up. For now, you got the 3-way color option. I don't know if they'll add more colors into it. I doubt it. But excuse me. I really look forward to Mr. Elijah Isham doing some more collabs with Civivi. He's done so many with We. I'm gonna take a little bit of credit. I'm gonna take a little bit of credit because whenever we post new designs and whenever Elijah posts new designs or, hey, I'm working on this, I am always the guy in the comments, hey, do you have a cheaper version, a budget version? Do you guys plan on making a budget version? Cheaper materials, more cost friendly? I'm always that guy, and I have been on every one of their posts. And I'd like to think somewhere in there, maybe just a tiny bit, I had a little bit of inspiration for this guy. Not design-wise or anything, but just the fact that maybe he's heard me over time, budget, cheaper, budget. Because We Knives is not budget-friendly, in my opinion. I mean, they're like 100 plus and up. I mean, I know like 130 bucks is pretty cheap to a lot of you guys, but for an everyday commoner like me, it's a little bit too much cheddar. So, yeah, I was stoked that this thing came out, and I was like, man, they finally heard me. But most likely they didn't. It was probably already in the works back then. But, yeah, I was so stoked. When I saw this on Civivi's page, I was like, no way Elijah Isham is collabing with Civivi now, which makes sense. They're sister companies. It's not a huge, stretch. And I am just stoked, and I can't wait to see more. I definitely recommend picking one up, guys. Let me know down in the comments below what you think of the Civivi Anthropos, or Anthropos. Drop a comment, like this video, go ahead and share it with your friends and family. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, I'll leave a button down here for you guys to subscribe to. I'll leave another video up here for you guys to check out of a review on something else on the channel. And like always, guys, I appreciate you guys watching. Thanks.